What's up, guys? Welcome back to our Ootp 19 franchise with the Kansas City Royals. My name is Archer, and today we're going to be getting into the American League Championship Series against the Boston Red Sox. Today, Kyle Wright and Dylan Bundy on the mound for each team respectively, and today we're going to be showing two episodes, and then the next episode we'll be doing the same thing pretty much until the series ends. If it needs 7 games for this series, then we'll do 3 games on that last episode. But for now, we're just doing the first 2, so it'll be Kyle Wright, and then we'll have Justice Sheffield on the mound for the second game. Let's get right into the first one. And as you can see, the Boston Red Sox lineup is going to be Chris McTeague, Paul Goldschmidt, Rafael Devers, Andrew Benintendi, Mookie Betts, Shai Kengai, and Xander Bogaerts, along with Carlos Andres Cortez and Evan Skoug. Dylan Bundy on the mound. Our lineup is going to be Ely in center, Tellez at first, Olivares in right, Mazzara as the DH, Matt Chapman at third base, Khalil Lee in left field, Sean Murphy catching, and Andrelton Simmons and Jason Guzman in the middle of the infield at shortstop and second base. We do have back for this game Joe Panic. Probably not going to bring him back in his first game, but definitely an option, especially for Guzman, possibly late doors. So we will see how that works out. In the meantime, though, we are going to be starting this series at Kauffman Stadium with Kyle Wright on the mound. Here's the first pitch, and McTeague is going to ground out to first base on the 3-1 pitch. Kyle Wright strikes out Paul Goldschmidt for the second out. Kyle Wright, really good stretch of playoffs so far. His last outing out was 7 innings, and he managed to only give up 2 earned runs, so hoping for a repeat performance today as he squares up against Rafael Devers, who has become one of the most dangerous hitters in the league, but Devers does strike out. In fact, Rafael Devers this year, I mean, his stats are just incredible. 42 home runs, a 320 average, 378 on base, 591. I mean, that's an insane season, especially with the plus defense he provides at the hot corner. This one is lined into right field by Jerian Ely off of Dylan Bundy, and who could have seen Dylan Bundy in this scenario leading off the AL Championship Series for Boston? Tellez hits this one shallow into right field, and that's going to be dealt with off of a diving catch. Made that one a little harder than it probably needed to be, did Mookie Betts. Olivares now up to face Bundy. This one popped foul, and it looks like the catcher may get there. No, it'll be the first baseman. Goldschmidt makes the catch there. Nomar Mazzara now up. And Mazzara hits this one to first base, and nothing comes of the first inning, so we'll be looking to see if Kyle Wright can get through a clean second. He cannot, so 1 out gives up 2 base runners, Benintendi and Guy on for Xander Bogaerts and Cortez. Wright probably looking for the strikeout here, but instead a 4-pitch walk. And some decisions to be made early on. Going to warm up Brad Keller just in case. This one lined right to the second baseman, and an excellent play made by Guzman to gobble it up, and that'll bring up Evan Skoug up. Kyle Wright, any out will do it, and this one to the second baseman, and it looks like that'll end the inning. So he gets out of it without any damage done, but certainly not doing it the easy way, as Dylan Bundy faces Chapman, Lee, and Murphy. And that one grounded to the third baseman, and that's going to be an out. So we'll see if Bundy can get out of the rest of the inning. He cannot. 1 out with Khalil Lee on second, so Lee with a double right after Matt Chapman with the ground out. Murphy sneaks this one through the hole into left, and I think we are going to hold Lee at third, just because of Benintendi's fantastic arm in left field. That'll bring in a new pitcher, actually, so really early switch here for Boston. Could have been an injury, possibly. Let's take a look. And it was, so Bundy experiencing some back tightness on the mound. And that's going to bring in Ryan Tepera to face Andrelton Simmons, and all of a sudden Boston scrambling a little bit. This one to the third baseman looks like it could be 2, and it is. So an unfortunate sequence of events there for Kansas City, and the game remains scoreless. Kyle Wright now back on the mound, and he gets through a clean inning there. Can Tepera do the same? He does, matching him. Kyle Wright rolling in this one, and Tepera doing the same. Now Kyle Wright, though, with a runner on second base, Cortez with the double. And now he's going to face up against Evan Skaug, who has had a really successful playoffs, over 1,000 OPS. 0 for 1 today. This one to the second baseman is going to move the runner over, but it is going to be an out. So some danger now for Kyle Wright as he faces the top of the Boston lineup. And I think we're going to make the decision to move the corners in and hope for something manageable. This one to the pitcher, and that is an excellent play to retire McTeague and bring around Paul Goldschmidt. Any out will do it now for Kyle Wright. This one, though, is going to be lined through the gap between shortstop and the third baseman. And that is going to be the first run of the game to Boston. Kyle Wright really struggling with some walk issues early on in this game. Found it a bit here late doors, but now looking a little bit shaky as he gives up the single. And Brad Keller, probably a little late to bring him in. And I would say a good time to start warming up Justin Lawrence, perhaps. So we have Andrew Benintendi here striking out, and that does end the inning. A little bit scary there for Kyle Wright. Command has been a bit wayward in this game, but he has made it through 5, only allowing 1. And if the offense can pick up for Kansas City, maybe we'll start it here with Khalil Lee. I think we're going to try and steal second with him. Pickoff move. And again, so maybe we'll just try the run and hit. Nope. Hit and run. I don't know why it won't let me steal second. That's weird. But we do get the infield hit. So that'll bring 2 runners on now. Andrelton Simmons to face Ryan Tepera. 2 runners on. Simmons, of course, was huge in the last series, and he continues to be so, hitting this one straight up the middle. That'll load the bases as the lineup just about flips over. Jason Guzman now to face the new pitcher Eric Davis, 3.76 ERA in the regular season, yet to give up a run here in the postseason. And this one to the second baseman, it could be 2. It is not. Guzman hustling down the first base line, drives in a run, and Sean Murphy moves to third. So that'll be Jerry and Ely now up with runners on the corners. And this one is through the infield, and that is going to score another. Jerry and Ely proving in this playoffs that he is the star that Kansas City needed. So great to see him get these clutch hits. Tella's now up. This one into right field, not going to drop, and that'll hold the runner at second. So it'll be Edward Olivares trying to extend the lead even further. This one might just drop in center field, and it does. We're going to let Guzman try to come home off of this one. McTeague, a great throw. It's going to be a play at the plate. He's out. Oh, and that is really painful there. Perhaps being a bit too aggressive, especially with Mazzara up afterwards, but got to go for it in the playoffs, I guess. And in the bullpen, we are going to sit Justin Lawrence down, and we are going to start warming up Liam Hendricks. And we're going to go batter by batter for Kyle Wright. This one into center field. Looks like it's going to be handled by Jerry and Ely, and it is. So 1 out now for Kyle Wright. He's going to face Guy. And this one out to center field again. Ely getting a chance to make a big defensive impact on this game. And that'll bring up Xander Bogaerts for a chance to move past the 6th inning, and he swings and misses, goes down on strikes. 3 up, 3 down for Kyle Wright, and all of a sudden things are looking pretty good for Kansas City. We're going to sit down Liam Hendricks now. Nomar Mazara does strike out against Eric Davis, and that'll bring up Matt Chapman. Chapman hits this one long and far into right field. It's out of here. And Matt Chapman, 403 into right field, and that is not easy to do. It is cavernous out there in the outfield in Kauffman Stadium. Showing off the power and really co-MVP right now with Jerry and Ely. Khalil Lee then to follow, and he hits this one to the second baseman and an easy out, but again, Matt Chapman, just to talk about him a bit more, what a huge addition he has been ever since we traded for him. And in the playoffs, power, such a premium, the ability to change the game just like that, extend the lead, get yourself a safety run even when you don't get anybody else on. And we move now to the 7th. Kyle Wright to face the bottom 2 of the lineup, and then it'll flip over for him. Only 1 run allowed so far through 6. And this one is going to be hit through the gap. So that'll be 1 on for Evan Skaug, the catcher. Skaug hits this one through center field, and it looks like we are going to need to get somebody up in the bullpen. And we probably should have had somebody going already, to be honest with you. And I think at the moment we're going to warm up Murdoch Blagden as he is now back. And that's going to be a walk from Kyle Wright. Bases loaded. I think we're going to put Blagden in. And immediately behind him, we're going to warm up Lovelady just in case. So Blagden to face Goldschmidt with everything on the line here. Bases loaded. Devers and Benintendi behind. Needing strikeouts, really. And this one into center field, it's not a strikeout, but Jerry Neely might be able to come under this. The throw home is good, but it may not be in time, and it is not. So 3-2 now the score, and Blagden with 1 out. He's going to face Rafael Devers, arguably one of the best hitters in the American League, and he walks him. And the bases are loaded once again for Andrew Benintendi. And we're going to trust the rookie. Benintendi hits this one to first, to second, back to first, and it is a double play. Again, Tellez with some excellent defense to get us out of a jam, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the 7th. And we are pretty lucky to get out of there with that one. So we're going to insert Richard Lovelady as the new pitcher for the next inning. And Matt Barnes is going to be the new Boston pitcher. Andrelton Simmons steps in and strikes out. Jason Guzman to face. And he strikes out as well. So Barnes with some excellent pitching here to keep things as close as possible. Jaron Ely now to step up at the top of the lineup. And he slaps this one to the third baseman, but Devers is going to handle it easily. And we're going to move to the top of the 8th. With Richard Lovelady on the mound, he's got to get through Betts, Guy, and Bogaerts. Not an easy stretch by any means. Obviously been excellent this playoffs, and he continues it. Strikes out Mookie Betts, and now to face check-in Guy, strikes him out as well. And things are looking good for Lovelady so far. Bogaerts not going to get this one past the third baseman, and Chapman, an excellent defender, makes the play. 3 up and 3 down, dealt with easily for Richard Lovelady. And Luis Castro is going to warm up to try and get the save here in the ninth. Archie Bradley now on the mound for Boston, trying to keep this one close, and that's going to be a strikeout for Rowdy Tellez. Edward Olivares now up. This one is long and high, but probably not enough. Straightaway center field. It does drop, though, and this one's going to be a double for Olivares. Misplayed in center field off the wall. And Nomar Mazara now going to have a chance to drive in a run off of Archie Bradley. Actually, I'll take that back. He's not even going to get a chance. They intentionally walk him to bring up Matt Chapman, and you got to question the rationale there. Although Chapman does strike out, so vindicating them a bit there. Khalil Lee now to third base, and that's going to end the inning. So a decent try at a safety run, but ultimately for naught, as Luis Castro is going to jog in. Or is he? Actually, you know what? With 9 pitches, we are going to keep him up in the bullpen, but we're going to let Richard Lovelady handle this one if he can. He's going to face 3 lefties, Cortez, Scoug, and McTeague. And he strikes out Cortez, so he's off to a good start already, facing now Evan Scoug. This one's slapped into right field, but should be dealt with, and it is. Olivares makes a good play. And now it's 1 out away. The pinch hitter, Bobby Dalbec, comes in. He's a righty. And you know what? We don't care. Richard Lovelady, we're going to trust him. Give him the ball. He strikes him out, and that is going to be our first win. And we are leading in the League Championship Series 1-0. Excellent, excellent game for us. Looked a bit questionable there a couple of times, especially there in the 7th, but we got out of it. We trusted our guys, and we are off now to the second game in Kansas City. Justice Sheffield on the mound. Sheffield really struggling these playoffs. We'll see if he can put something together worthy of his talent today. The Boston lineup obviously is going to shift now as they face off against a left-handed pitcher. Mookie Betts is still going to be in right. He'll be leading off. Bogarts at short. Devers at third. Goldschmidt at first. Benintendi in left. Guy DHing. Cortez at second. McTeague all the way down in the 8th spot in center field. And Evan Scoug down at catcher, filling it out. Our lineup now, Joe Panik is going to come in. So it'll be Ely, Panik, Mazara, Olivares, Lee, Chapman, Tellez, Murphy, and then Simmons to face Eduardo Rodriguez in this second game. Back at Kauffman Stadium once again, and Justice Sheffield need a lot more out of him than we got the last time out. So he'll start the game off to face Mookie Betts. 49 degrees here at Kauffman Stadium. Wind blowing out to center at 16 miles per hour, so got to watch as those fly balls go out, and this one is going to be a hit, so Mookie Betts a leadoff double to get things started, and things not looking good already for Justice Sheffield. And I think just to let him know that he is not safe, we're going to start warming up Brian Hudson as he faces Xander Bogaerts, and I believe that was a bunt to get the runner over. And it is, so Betts moves over, and Sheffield now has to face Devers and Goldschmidt, packing the top of the lineup with righties, but Devers does strike out, and Goldschmidt now to try and drive one in. This one into left field, and it looks like it's going to be the end of the inning. And thank goodness for Justice Sheffield it is. So we're going to sit down Brian Hudson. Hopefully that is settled Sheffield in. And it'll be our Eduardo Rodriguez to face Jerry and Ely. And that one is in to center field. Jerry and Ely continuing to just do nothing but hit. He's hitting .438 in the playoffs. And Joe Panik with his first at-bat of the playoffs against Eduardo Rodriguez. And he strikes out. For all his struggles, though, he is still better than Jason Guzman against lefties. Nomar Mazara also striking out. 2 power lefties on the mound for both teams today, and some lefty hitters that really tend to struggle against same-handed pitchers. This one, though, is going to fall in the gap for Edward Olivares. He's a right-hander, and he's going to bring a run home. Excellent base running from Ely all the way from first base to get home. And speed kills, ladies and gentlemen. Khalil Lee now up. And he's going to ground this one to the third baseman. Devers handles it easily, but the first run still nets for Kansas City. Justice Sheffield to face Benintendi now. And that is grounded to Panic to Tellez as they renew their partnership. Guy and Cortez the rest of the inning if Sheffield can keep his nose clean. And to this point, it looks like he can. It's going to be a bit of a tough play, but Ely makes it look easy. And that'll bring up Carlos Andres Cortez. This one just hit very weakly, and Sheffield handles it himself. 1-2-3 in the top of the second there for Justice Sheffield, and we get a walk for Matt Chapman to start the second. Tellez strikes out, and that'll bring up Sean Murphy. Murphy a little bit better against righties, a little bit more power. This one into left field, and it will not drop. Excellent play there by Benintendi. And Andrelton Simmons now up to face Rodriguez. And this one just squirted into center field, but is going to be handled by McTeague, who is solid defensively out in center. And we're going to start seeing if Sheffield can get through some clean innings. Not quite, so the righty's giving him trouble once again. Betts with another double. And he'll face Xander Bogaerts. This one popped into the infield, though, and handled by Andrelton Simmons to get him out of the third. Sheffield already performing better than he did in his last outing. And we'll watch Jerry and Ely once again. And Ely smacks another one into center field. Again, all the man does is hit. And it is a lot of fun to watch. We're going to have him steal second here. And he decides not to. That's fine. I trust him. This one is going to be into the gap once again. Ely is going to sit at second. McTeague a little too close to chance that one, and no outs in the inning yet, so no need for it. Nomar Mazara now is going to get a walk. So Rodriguez misses with the fastball and loads the bases. Edward Olivares now, bases loaded, and he strikes out. Excellent work there from Rodriguez, but disappointing if you're a KC fan, and Lee does the same. Can't even get a ball in play here. Matt Chapman maybe changing things up. This one is hit very hard, and it could be out of here. It is. Good grief, 439, and a grand slam by Matt Chapman. That is just an amazing piece of hitting. Matt Chapman, sometimes he just hits the ball so hard it looks like a line drive, and it just keeps carrying. And that one was one of those lasers out into center field. Amazing, amazing stuff from him. And once again showing why he and Ely are probably going to end up co-MVPs of this series if we end up winning it. Rodriguez now given up 5 earned runs, I should say. Does get the strikeout here, though. And we'll move to Justice Sheffield, who gives up a home run to Rafael Devers, and if there was anybody you were worried about giving it up to, that was the man. We'll see if he can get through the rest of the inning, though, and he can. So we'll watch and see as Rodriguez gets a clean fourth. Sheffield gets a clean fifth, and now Travis Lakins is going to come in for Boston. And he is going to face Panic, Mazara, and Olivares. And he gives up a home run to Olivares after letting Mazara on. I'm pretty sure we can look at the game log to confirm, and it is a 422-foot home run from Edward Olivares. Actually, that was going to be Panic on the walk. So Panic the walk, and then a 2-run shot from Edward Olivares. And that loosens the game up pretty significantly. We'll see if Lakins can get through the rest of the inning. He can't. So Khalil Lee now on second base, and Matt Chapman, who is just steaming hot at the plate. Eric Davis once again to face. Chapman does strike out this time, and that'll bring up Rowdy Tellez. 1 out remaining in the inning, and that one gets through, actually, so this could be a score for Khalil Lee. The throw not in time, and Tellez knocks one in, and we add to our lead 8-1 here in the 5th inning. Sean Murphy to face Eric Davis. This one hit at the second baseman, and a good catch by Cortez to end the inning. Justice Sheffield sitting on 61 pitches now to face Bogarts, Devers, and Goldschmidt. We'll see if he can get through it cleanly, and he can. Sheffield giving us a much better outing today. We'll see if Eric Davis can get through the inning. He can't. A double by Anderson Simmons brings up Jerry and Ely, and Ely hits this one deep into left field. This could be out of here, and it is. Jerry and Ely, 3:59, and we are leading 10-1. Jerry and Ely, what more can you say about the man? Absolutely proving that he is a superstar in these playoffs. You almost wish he had saved that one for when he needed it. But there's no holding him back right now. Davis gets through the rest of the inning without any trouble, but an explosion by the Kansas City offense here today. And at this point, I think we are going to go batter by batter for Justice Sheffield. Edward Inciarte, the substitution, comes in, and Ely makes a great catch in center to put him away. And Gang hits this one through the gap between the second baseman and the first baseman. And that'll bring up Carlos Andres Cortez. So a little bit of trouble here for Sheffield, but it could be dealt with in short order if Simmons can make a great play. Gets the man at second, but can't quite get the man at first. So I'll bring up Chris McTeague, who has an awful time against lefties generally. That's going to be a wild pitch, but the runner does advance. Doing a little dance there in between first and second was Cortez, going for it on the steal, and then going back to first base and moving out afterwards. McTeague hits this one into center. Looks like it's going to be handled by Ely, though, to end the inning. And we are going to be through 7 here at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals up 10-1 with only 2 frames for Boston to catch up. Davis gets through a clean bottom of the 7th, and now it's the top of the 8th for Justice Sheffield as he faces off against Evan Skaug. This one is going to be popped up into foul territory, but Chapman has it. And we are only a few outs away now as the lineup turns over. Betts gets a walk out of it, so we're going to start warming somebody up just in case. I think we're probably going to get the righty Murdoch Blagden up once again. This one's hit into center field, and it looks like it's going to be handled by Ely, though. The runner tries from first, and he just barely makes it. Betts with a gutsy call there to try and go to second. We'll see if Sheffield can get out of this one, and he can. Sheffield rolling today. 5 hits given up, but only 1 run allowed. Excellent work from him, and we're going to sit Murdoch Blagden down. I don't think we're going to need him. At the start of the next inning, we're going to get, or at the end of this inning, we're going to get up our closer, Luis Castro, as that is going to be a ground out by Anderson Simmons, and Jerry and Ely up once again to face Trevor Cahill. Hits this one straight to the third baseman, but some good contact made. Joe Panic now to face Cahill, and he will grab himself a walk, and we're going to start warming up Luis Castro. Don't want him tiring during the next inning. Mazzara gets another walk, and we will be looking for Olivares to perhaps extend this inning, and he does. Hits this one into left field. That's going to bring home at least 1, possibly 2, depending on how quickly Mazzara gets in, and it's going to be a play at the plate. Mazzara is safe, and the double by Olivares scores to 12-1, an absolute demolition job by Kansas City here, as Archie Bradley comes in to try and clean this one up. And it looks like he does so. Khalil Lee hits this one into left. But it is going to be dealt with by McTeague, who moved over for Inciarte to come in. And Castro is ready, but we're going to let Sheffield take this one if he can. He's going to face Goldschmidt, and Goldschmidt hits this one through the gap. So, a little bit of trouble here for Sheffield, but he does have 3 lefties up to face. This one popped into the infield, and looks like it's going to be handled by, I believe that is Tellez, and it is. So some good defense there from Rowdy Tellez. 109 pitches now as Sheffield faces Guy. A wild pitch here, and we are looking to the bullpen, eyeing Luis Castro. Going to let him finish up Guy here. And Sheffield makes the play at first. And we're going to let him take on Cortez. He walks him. And I think we're now into danger territory with 117 pitches. So in comes Luis Castro, hopefully for the last out of the inning, to face Chris McTeague. And he cannot get the out. This one lined sharply into right field, and that's going to be at least 2, maybe 3 for McTeague. Good grief. So Castro comes in. He had a pretty easy job to do, and he lets up 2. So, not great work there for Luis Castro. Going to let him face Scaug with nobody in the bullpen, though, and he finally gets it done, strikes him out. And Kansas City takes a 2-0 lead in the LCS. Rolled through that one pretty quickly, 12-3. And, of course, probably the biggest moment in that game, the Matt Chapman grand slam. And that is going to do it for us in those 2 games. And that's going to do it for today's episode. A little bit of a shorter one today, but I just wanted to get you these playoff games coming. And I'm going to go ahead and record the next one probably this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, but these should be coming out a little bit quicker for you just because they're a little bit shorter. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like the video, please like it. We are on our way, hopefully, to the World Series. We've made a good start towards it, and I will see you guys on the next episode.